Welcome to this channel. Mau belajar bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris dengan cara yang seru, santai, dan mudah dipahami? You're in the right place. Belajar kosakata dan ekspresi sehari-hari. Learn daily vocabulary and expressions. Dengarkan contoh situasi nyata. Listen to real-life examples. Subscribe sekarang dan nyalakan notifikasi. Let's learn together and have fun.
Welcome to Motorcar Channel. We're really glad you're joining us for another deep dive. This one's designed specifically for you.
Yeah, really glad to be here.
Today we're tackling something, well, incredibly practical and actually quite empowering. How to make a complaint in Indonesian.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're learning the language or maybe you're planning a trip to Indonesia, this deep dive is really gonna arm you, I think, with the confidence to handle those, real world moments.
Absolutely. And our guide for this is a really fantastic, comprehensive article. It's titled Making a Complaint in Indonesian.
Okay.
And it's not just like a list of words. It actually gives you a sample conversation, which is great. Essential vocabulary, grammar breakdowns, and critically some cultural insights too, which go way beyond just the words themselves.
That sounds useful.
Yeah, it's perfect for anyone looking to build, practical Indonesian skills.
Totally. I mean, imagine you've arrived in Indonesia, you're settling into your place, and something just isn't quite right.
Right. It happens.
Maybe the AC decides it's had enough, or the hot water goes missing. This deep dive is really designed to give you the exact phrases and hopefully the confidence to tackle those kinds of issues effectively. We're going to lean pretty heavily into those real English-Indonesian example sentences, to show you how these ideas actually work in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's unpack this. What happens when you're staying somewhere and something's wrong?
Well, that's exactly what our source material gets into. We're going to jump straight into a scenario featuring a hotel guest, Mr. Booty, as he tries to sort out a problem.
Okay.
And this dialogue, it isn't just theory, It gives you a really good feel for how these conversations actually play out in Indonesia.
All right, let's set the scene then. Mr. Booty, room 509, calling reception. I'll read the Indonesian part first.
Okay.
Recepcionis. Selamat malam. Ini resepsionis. Ada yang bisa saya bantu?
So the receptionist starts off politely, formally. Good evening. This is the receptionist. Is there anything I can help you with? Pretty standard, very common opening you'll hear, like in any service situation. Sets a helpful tone immediately.
Okay. Bapak Budi. Selamat malam, mbak, saya dari kamar nomor 549. Saya tadi sempat menelepon sekitar 20 menit yang lalu. Jadi saya tadi mandi, tapi air panasnya tidak keluar.
Right. And Mr. Booty, he gets straight to the point. Good evening, miss. I'm from room 509. I had called about 20 minutes ago. See, I was taking a shower, but there wasn't any hot water.
The dreaded cold shower.
Exactly. What's key here is how direct he is, right? States his room number, the specific problem. And notice he also includes that detail about calling before.
Yeah, I already told you this.
Pretty much. It immediately says, look, I've already tried to fix this once.
Okay, then Mr. Booty continues. Setelah saya memberi keluhan, katanya akan diperiksa dan diperbaiki secepatnya. Tapi sampai sekarang tidak ada kabarnya dan belum ada kemajuan sama sekali.
And here you really hear his growing frustration. He's saying, after I complained, he said that it would be inspected and repaired as soon as possible. But there hasn't been any news or improvement at all yet.
Right.
That phrase, tidak ada kabarnya dan belum ada kemajuan sama sekali, literally no news and no progress at all yet. That's a really powerful way to express dissatisfaction when, promises haven't been kept.
Yeah, you can feel the irritation there. Okay, the receptionist replies, Saya minta maaf atas ketidaknyamanan yang telah dialami oleh Papak. Saya akan menghubungi teknisi kami untuk memastikan situasinya. Dan saya akan segera menghubungi Bapak kembali.
And the receptionist gives like a textbook apology and a clear commitment to action. I apologize for the inconvenience this caused you, sir. I'll contact our technician to make sure of the situation and I will call you back soon, sir.
Okay.
She uses that word ketidaknyamanan, which is a very formal, polite word for inconvenience. She promises a follow-up, which is key.
Right. And finally, Mr. Booty says, baik, saya akan tunggu.
Yeah, just simple, direct, maybe a little bit resigned. All right, I'll wait. It's clear, concise, and kind of puts the ball back in their court, doesn't it?
It really does. And that whole conversation, it just highlights how knowing just a few key phrases can really unlock a situation. So let's break down some of those words that make the dialogue work, especially, for those of you learning Indonesian.
Absolutely. Let's start with menghubungi. It means to contact. This is, it's crucial. Not just for calling people, but for reaching out to services, anything really.
Right.
For instance, the article gives us dia sedang menghubungi polisi, meaning he is contacting the police. Knowing this word means you can basically initiate contact for almost anything you need help with.
Okay. And what about keluar? Mr. Booty used that for the hot water not coming out.
Yeah, keluar, it literally means to exit or to come out.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly versatile. Think of the example, setelah jam 9, silakan keluar lewat pintu belakang. After 9 p.m., please exit through the back door. Standard enough. But like Mr. Booty showed, it's also used for things that aren't working right, like air, panasnya, tidak, keluar, hot water isn't coming out. It's a really common way to express, a malfunction. Something's not producing what it should.
Got it. And tunggu, that seemed pretty fundamental in his last line.
Tunggu, yeah, very fundamental. It just means to wait. It's one of those words you'll hear constantly. You say, silakan tunggu di ruangan ini. Please wait in this room.
Right.
Or, a bit more polite, maybe add mohon. Mohon tunggu sebentar. Please wait for a moment. It's just a foundational word for navigating any waiting situation, which, let's be honest, happens a lot.
True enough. And keluhan, the actual complaint itself.
Keluhan, yes.
Yeah.
That's your go-to noun when you need to formally express dissatisfaction. The source gives a great practical example. Sampaikan umpan balik dan keluhan Anda pada kami lewat formulir ini.
Which means?
It means, tell your feedback and complaints to us through this form. So that's how you actually label the issue you're raising. And finally, sampai. This can mean until or to. You'll often hear it in greetings like sampai jumpa lagi.
See you later.
Exactly. Until we meet again. It's a really common, warm way to say goodbye.
It's really interesting how these relatively simple words combine, but the source material takes us even deeper, right? Into how words are actually built in Indonesian, like with ketidaknyaman.
Yes, ketidaknyamanan. It's a fantastic example of Indonesian word building. And it's a powerful word if you need to be formal. It means inconvenience or discomfort.
As put together.
Okay, so it's built from the root word nyaman, which means pleasant or comfortable. Then it uses the special prefix-suffix combo, a confix, ketidakan.
Right.
This block is essentially kean, which often turns adjectives or verbs into nouns, sort of like nelis or edulation in English, combined with tidak, meaning no or not.
Okay.
So it literally creates the noun for the state of not being comfortable. It's definitely formal. If you were being less formal, you might just say rasa tidak nyaman, which is more like a feeling of not being comfortable.
Gotcha.
And the source gives an example sentence. Hubungi nomor layanan konsumen ini untuk melaporkan ketidaknyamanan Anda. Contact this customer service number to report your discomfort.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about Kimahan? Mr. Booty used that negatively, saying there wasn't any improvement.
Right, kemahuan. It means progress or improvement. This word uses just the canon confix with the root maju, meaning to step forward or to advance.
So it's like the state of advancing.
Exactly. Kemahan signifies the condition of progressing or advancing. It's used really widely, from formal reports to just everyday chat. For example, telah terdapat kemajuan dalam prestasi belajarnya. There's been improvement in his academic achievement.
Wow.
Understanding these affixes, these building blocks, is really key to unlocking the language, I think. It lets you figure out new words and express ideas with, more nuance, which is super helpful when you're trying to describe exactly what's wrong.
Definitely. So, okay, we've broken down some keywords, how they're built. Let's look at putting them together in common complaint scenarios. The source really focuses on practical patterns for dealing with different problems in accommodation. What does this mean for you, the listener, when you're actually there?
Great question. The article really emphasizes that once you kind of grasp the basic pattern, you can adapt it to almost any situation you run into.
Yeah.
Let's look at a few common issues.
Okay.
TV issues first. For a TV that's just not working, you typically say, televisinya tidak menyala. The word menyala, it often describes like a light source or an appliance turning on.
Right.
Less formally though, you'd probably just say TV-nya tidak nyala. Much shorter, more common.
Okay, simpler.
Yeah. Then, hot wire again. Just like Mr. Booty, you'd say air panasnya tidak keluar. Remember, the mia on panasnya means the, so it's specifically the hot water.
Got it. AC problems, always a classic.
Oh yeah. Formally, it might be penijok udaranya tidak bekerja. The air conditioner is not working. Bekerja means to work, but honestly, much more commonly, you'll hear ajinya enggak jalan. AC is the standard abbreviation everyone uses. Enggak is the informal version of tidak, no or not.
And Alan, like walking.
Yeah, but here jalan doesn't mean walking. Informally, it means to function or to work, similar to bekerja. It's a great example of, everyday informal Indonesian.
Interesting. Okay, one more common one.
Noise, a universal complaint, right? Kamar sebelah terlalu berisik. Simple. The room next door is too noisy. Berisik is noisy.
That's incredibly helpful. Seeing the formal and informal side by side really shows the flexibility. So, okay, applying that, how would you say the light isn't turning on? Probably lampunya tidak menyala, using that same word as the TV.
Exactly.
Or if it's your radio, maybe more informally, radionya enggak nyala.
Perfect, yeah. And the source gives other great examples too, like pengering rambutnya tidak menyala for a hair dryer that won't turn on, or maybe the AC isn't broken, just too cold. Acina terlalu dingin. You can even complain about, say, a dirty bathroom. Kamar mandinya kotor. These patterns are basically your toolkit.
Definitely. Which brings us to the next logical step, right? Once you've pointed out the problem,
Right.
what do you do next? You need to ask for a solution.
Exactly. You can't just state the problem and hope.
Right. So our source gives some excellent, really actionable phrases for actually requesting assistance. This is the crucial follow-up.
Indeed. And these are phrases you'll really want to have ready. They're polite, they're clear, and they get straight to what you need.
Okay, like what?
Well, you can say, boleh tolong kirimkan seseorang untuk memeriksanya. This means, could you please send someone to check it? It's a polite way to ask for, a technician or staff member to just assess things.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Right. Or, if you're pretty sure it needs fixing, you can be more direct. Tolong kirimkan seseorang untuk memperbaikinya. That's simply, please send someone to fix it. And if you're genuinely unsure what the procedure is, a really helpful phrase is, apa yang harus saya lakukan sekarang? Which translates to, what should I do now? Puts the responsibility back on them to guide you.
That's a good one.
And finally, if the issue is pretty severe, you might need to ask, bolehkah saya pindah ke kamar yang lain? Meaning, can I move to another room?
Essential escape hatch phrase.
Exactly. These phrases really empower you to push for an actual resolution.
They definitely put you in a position to, take control a bit. But, okay, connecting this to the bigger picture. Language is only one piece of the puzzle when you're navigating a new culture, right?
Absolutely.
And our source material highlights a really critical cultural element in Indonesia that might just surprise you. Tipping.
Yes, the article gives us a really fascinating look into the cultural dynamics around tipping. It seems that while it was originally adopted from Western culture, it's now incredibly widespread across Indonesia, especially in cities. But what's kind of unique is how it often feels. Less like, just pure appreciation for good service. And more like, sometimes like a mandatory expectation. Even the source suggests sometimes for your perceived safety.
Wait, for safety? That sounds intense. What does that actually mean?
Well, the source illustrates this with the whole phenomenon of the juru parkir or tukang parkir. These are unofficial parking attendants you find pretty much everywhere.
I think I've heard of this.
Right. Even where there are official parking systems, like in malls, you'll often pay them a small fee just to park, sometimes with no official ticket involved.
Okay.
But here's the tricky part, the nuance. Even when there is an official parking ticket and you've paid the building's required fee, you're often still expected to give an additional tip to the attendant who maybe guided you into the spot.
Really? Why?
The implication, as the source kind of hints, is that not tipping, or maybe giving too little. Well, in some unfortunate cases, it could lead to minor hassle, like a scratch on your car, perhaps.
Oh, wow.
So it becomes less about gratitude and maybe more about, just ensuring a smooth exit and avoiding potential problems. It's complex.
That definitely adds a whole different layer to tipping. What about other situations? Is it just parking?
No, it extends to many other sort of little helpers you might encounter. Imagine someone offering you an umbrella when it suddenly starts pouring rain.
Okay.
Or someone carrying your luggage just a short distance at a train station or a port, or even just someone quickly stopping traffic so you can make a difficult U-turn in your car.
Right, things people do to help out.
Exactly. And the material stresses that even if you didn't actively ask for their help, a small tip is generally expected. It's sort of part of the informal social landscape.
So it's not always about like amazing 5-star service, but more about understanding these kind of unwritten social rules.
Precisely. And the source even gives some specific amounts as a rough guide.
Oh, handy. Like what?
Well, for bellboys, say, helping with luggage to your hotel room. A tip around $2 to $3, or maybe roughly 25,000 Indonesian rupiahs, is suggested. Now, for taxis, it's often just common practice to round up the fare to the nearest, say, 5,000 or 10,000 rupiah. Simple.
Right.
And here's a really culturally insightful term the article mentions for a tip in Indonesian: wang rukok.
Wang rokok. What's that mean?
It literally translates to cigarette money, which kind of highlights how these small payments are sometimes perceived or maybe intended to be used. Just a little something extra.
Wow. What's truly fascinating here is how tipping in Indonesia isn't just about, being generous. It's about understanding this deep layer of local expectations and, like you said, unspoken rules.
Yeah.
It really shows that navigating a new culture goes so far beyond just learning the words and grammar.
Indeed. It raises that crucial point again. Right. How these cultural layers really affect how you use the language in practice.
This has been such a practical and I think really insightful deep dive. We've hopefully equipped you with how to effectively voice complaints in Indonesian, master some essential vocabulary and grammar patterns, and also navigate the nuanced, sometimes maybe surprising world of Indonesian tipping culture.
This deep dive should really empower you, whether you're just starting out learning Indonesian or maybe planning your next trip to the archipelago.
And, as you continue your learning, maybe consider this. How does understanding these subtle cultural dynamics, like the complex expectations around tipping, change not just how you speak the language, but how you actually perceive and interact with an entirely new place?
That's a great thought.
It really transforms travel, I think, from just visiting to genuinely connecting.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this knowledge empowers you to navigate Indonesia with more confidence and more understanding. Keep learning. Keep exploring.
Definitely.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.